don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take it serious, inferior, you know I'll always be.
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are live. We are here, and we're doing our thing. Lade. This is the Value Wrestling. This is your Monday. Not your Monday. Why am I even thinking it's Monday? It's Friday night, and it's a good night for fight night. Believe that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday night. It's December 8th. This is your Smackdown review brought to you by us right here at the Value Wrestling. We're going to break down everything that went down on SmackDown tonight. We're going to go over all of it. We'll talk about the good, the bad, and what type of show it was. It was a tribute to the troops. I believe the 21st annual tribute to the troops. It did what it needed to do. It made it feel special, even though they didn't do it at a military base where it was just military like they've done it before. You know, right now we're not necessarily in what would be considered wartime. So there's troops that are overseas in areas doing work, but we're not necessarily in wartime under the constitutional frame of what wartime is, but we still have troops that are deployed all over this country, all overseas, and I'm not talking about just troops that are in like Germany or Korea that are stationed there. I'm talking about actual troops that are deployed in different parts of this country. So this is what this show is about. It's about giving tribute to the men and women in uniform across this nation, protecting us, keeping us free, allowing us to be who we want to be, do what we want to do, and live free in one of the greatest, if not, you know what? It is the greatest damn country in the world. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you about that, but it is what it is. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. This is your SmackDown review. Sitting across from me, one, the only Clarke. Believe as that, because I am the big time. You know me, you know me. We're all here to set you bloody freaking free right here. And that's what makes it great to be right here in America, because we get to come on here and do this and have the privilege of doing this and saying whatever we pretty much want to say. The only thing is, if you want to watch us, you're going to watch us. If you don't want to watch us, you're not going to watch us, so we can't do much about that, but we can come on here and do what we want to do, however we want to do it. And that is the greatness of life, living in the land of the free. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Z is in the chat, so if you're here, you can join in the chat, join in the conversation, join us as we break down SmackDown live from Rhode Island tonight. We had Michael Cole and John Bradshaw Layfield. Not an exciting for me to see him on there, but we had Kevin Patrick, and that was our commentating team. We had what I believe was the War and Treaty, shaking some tail feathers. Okay, you shake your tail feathers that you still have left over from being the gobbledygooker of the season. Santa Claus, you are not, but you can always be a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Anyways, War and Treaty were the ones who came on stage and saying, God bless America. And I wish they would sing the national anthem in this type of show, but hey, we got the God bless America, and you can't necessarily complain. So we got the opening of the show, a lot of tribute to the troop stuff throughout the night, recognizing troops, celebrating the troops across the country, and showing many of the past events WWE has done, not only in country, but also when they originally started this, where they went overseas into the war zone, into Iraq, into Afghanistan, and did these shows. When I was in Afghanistan, unfortunately, they didn't do this show. Oh no, when I was in Iraq. Excuse me. When I was in Iraq, unfortunately, they didn't do the tribute to the troops show in Iraq at that time. I think they did it back in the United States. I'd have to look back where they did it in 2011 or 10. No, 11. It was 11. Wow. That was over a decade ago. But yeah. Anyways, we have a U.S. 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 title number one contender tournament all set up. All these brackets set up, and we start off with Santos Escobar and Dragon Lee. Yes, this may be a rematch from Survivor Series, but you can't go wrong here. Dominic Mysterio comes out and joins the watch party, and we just wonder when Dominic will find a new daddy, since he doesn't think Ray was a good enough daddy. Will Randy Orton take the call, or will WWE have to make a call to Christian?
Oh, Lord.
So this man can have a daddy. We know he's got a mommy, so it might have to be Randy Orton, because it looks like Christian found the mommy that he needs, but that's a whole different show and a whole nother thing of I don't even want to get into. Anyways, Dominic Mysterio at ringside. Of course, he's still holding on to the NXT North American title, which he'll face Dragon Lee tomorrow night at NXT Deadline. He's got mommy. Of course, he's got mommy. Interesting side note. I wonder who's going to show up at Deadline. Could be very interesting. Somebody's got a phone call scheduled with the one and only Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, tomorrow night, supposedly. Could they show up on Deadline as a surprise? Maybe they'll be sitting in the audience. Could be interesting. Anyways, we get a good solid match between Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar. Just what you thought would be here. We didn't really know who could win, but again, Santos Escobar hits his Phantom Driver. It's good. A clean pin. This match went 9 minutes, 5 seconds. A good solid opening to this match. After the match, of course, Dominic gets in and taunts Lee with the title, but Lee is going to face Dominic tomorrow night. But overall, good solid match between two good luchadors that felt lucha style, that fit the lucha style in the ramification. Just wasn't a wild flying monk party like some other companies do, where they put all these guys in the ring and they just go. This one made sense and wasn't about trying to get every big move off. Your thoughts, Mr. Clarke, on Santos Escobar and Dragon Lee?
You mean you don't like the helicopter over my head style of Lucha Libre?
I don't like it when it's just them all flying, trying to hit every single move they have in their arsenal on each other. I get it showcased in a sense, but when it's every time all these people get in the ring and they all have to do everything, it's just kind of like, yeah, that doesn't feel like Lucha Libre. This just feels like a showcase of showcases, and not the showcase of immortals, but a showcase.
Actually, I was talking about actual Lucha Libre.
Yeah.
Like, CMLL, AAA, that kind of stuff. I know what you were alluding to, and we will talk about that company when it's time to talk about that company.
But
tonight, hopefully.
When we get to AAA and CMLL, they at least make a little more sense. Like, you just expect it there, and that's, the style of how they do things. There's a little more, I think some of what the Mexican style is a little more flamboyant, a little more, big things. Again, culture's difference. And I think for some of Lucha Libre, they bring a little more comedy into all of their wrestling. There's a little more, fun with it in that style. Again, it's a culture difference between the difference in wrestling. Who? Who what?
Woo.
That better not be woo. That better be who. I see WHOO, not just no H. So I'm hoping he's saying woo. I hope he's pulling off his best Xavier Woods impression and not woo. Unless he's trying to find his own mommy and one blonde-headed Charlotte Flair. But he might have to talk to the next signee or big return to WWE. It won Mr. Andrade. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, there's definitely rumors of that one. I won't be surprised if he does wind up back in WWE.
Yep.
My only question, the match was good. There's not really much I can add to that. My question out of this is, if you had to choose between Santos Escobar, Dominic Mysterio, and Dragon Lee, who do you think is the next king of Lucha Libre, at least in the U.S. scene?
It's a mix-up between Santos and Dragon Lee, really. Dominic's not quite there. Yes, they are building him, and he's one of the hottest heels in the company right now. but wrestling style, he's not quite to a point where Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar are in a ring. Not that Dominic's not good; he can't do some stuff. He's still a baby. And Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar, if you really let them go a good match, I think you could see some of the best. Who's going to be that? It's going to be interesting. I think Santos wants to prove he is. I think Dragon Lee has been dubbed by Rey Mysterio the future Lucha Libre Wrestling.
Right.
But I think we have Santos Escobar and Dragon Lee. I think you're looking very possibly at what could be built to be your next Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio of this generation.
All right.
Anyways, we look at Randy Orton signing with SmackDown last week and RK Nick Aldis, which brings us to the back office where Nick Aldis comes in. And we see Randy Orton walking in, and he hands a check to Nick Aldis, and then he tells Nick Aldis, why am I teaming up with LA Knight? Somebody I barely know. Don't even know. You haven't even known this guy until last week. And Nick Aldis basically tells him they both want the bloodline, so he's going to have to basically deal with that. As Orton's walking out, Nick Aldis looks at the check and goes, Randy, it was only $50,000. This check's made for $100,000. And Randy looks at him with a glimmer in his eye, as only Randy Orton can do, and says, that's for next time. And Nick Aldis' face is like, what, huh? It was perfect. They pulled this off perfect. Randy Orton with that glimmer in his eye when he was like, you gave me next. Randy Orton's like, it's like for next time. How Randy Orton delivered that line was great. And then Nick Aldis' face that was just like, you just know he's like, why did I sign this, man? I went through all this. And so, yes, just paying it forward.
Absolutely, Mr. Z.
Your thoughts on this segment, Mr. Clarke?
I thought it was great.
It was.
But I mean, because what did it for me was really that last line. Like, that's for next time.
And Nick Aldis' face of that moment was like, oh, crap. We get previous tribute to the troop showings here. We get to look back at many of the shows over the years, whether it was Camp Lejeune, whether it was Fort Hood, the great place in Texas. And if you are an Army personnel or Army vet and you've ever gone through the gates at Fort Hood and they tell you, welcome to the great place, you know what I mean. And it being the largest Army installation in the United States, it is a big place. And I don't know if it's great. I spent some time there in the hot summer. Oh, don't ever have to do that again, thank God. And then we got to see different bases from Bagram Air Base to Victory. I forget the other ones that they showed, but they showed a lot of the ones from Iraq and Afghanistan where we were deployed overseas in the war on terror. So it was great to see these moments. They were flashing back and forth. Then we got Cody Rhodes. Cody's out here. It's a special night because it's a tribute to the troops. They talked about Otis. I don't know. I guess he had something to do with military. Otis, of course, if we want to talk about Otis, we can go way back to the day and talk about one tugboat or typhoon. Yes, we're talking about the Shockmaster. If you don't know, this is who they were talking about in the Otis there. We get a beautiful video tribute of the troops with John Cena talking about everything he does and why he does it and the dog tags and that whole story. And then Rhodes introduces the United States Army drill team from the military base in Virginia, which his name just totally skips my mind right now. There's a couple military installations in Virginia. I went to Fort Eustis for AIT, so I know where Fort Eustis is. But I forget where the drill team came out of. They did their drill ceremony. It was a two-man team with a I forget what the rank of the person was there. I really couldn't tell the ranks. A drill team's really impressive when you get more people in it. 2 people, it was quite impressive. The firing of the guns and everything they did. If you see it in a big group, if you see military march in a big group and it's done right, it's a wonderful thing. Drill teams can be really good. It's a little better when there's more than 2. It was good for what it was. But that's an insider. I've seen like, big teams do it, and it's impressive. Anyways, Brad Nessler's here, who calls the Army and Navy football game. He's on commentary. He's joining us at this time. And at this point, we talk about Montez Ford being a veteran of the Marine Corps. And he comes on and wishes the veterans, or wishes the troops a happy holidays. We also got the same thing from Sergeant Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley was a sergeant in the U.S. Army, and I believe he was at one point a drill sergeant, but he was a sergeant within his last term of service, which led us to the Bobby Lashley versus Karrion Kross, which was another U.S. title number one contender match here in this tournament that WWE set up to compete against another tournament. Except this one, just a simple one match elimination, no round robin, no who's got the most points. They aren't trying to copy New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're just doing a tournament just to be like, we know how to do it too. Little pony, it's just then. But the only sad part was here. You just knew that Karrion Kross probably wasn't going to win, being attributed to Troop and all the setup they had for Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley came out in black and gold. Cool. You know what I mean? If you're black and gold or you bleed army green, you know what I mean? Anyways, good solid match here. We got the whole entrance with Scarlett and Karrion Kross. Looks great. Happy to see Kross back. Can't wait to see what they're doing with Kross. A lot of the rumors and speculations is that Triple H has lots of plans for Kross to start pushing Kross soon. I'm sure we're just trying to get to the end of the year. After we get started on this road with WrestleMania, I think we're going to see a lot of big things change. I think we're going to see DIY start to head on the path to being in some type of tag team title contention. I think we'll see Karrion Kross start picking up where he's going to start heading. I'm sure we're going to start seeing getting wins. I think a lot of the people that have been talked about getting that momentum, I think we've just been waiting for the end of the year to start pushing into WrestleMania season where we can build really big matches, special matches going into WrestleMania. And making a lot of people feel impressive and important to win the Rumble. Because right now, the great thing about this year is we can predict a lot of things. And I did do a prediction show earlier, so check that out on the channel. I would lay heavily right now that CM Punk will probably win the Rumble. But the great thing is, I can't tell you for sure that CM Punk is going to be the definite winner. Cody Rhodes is up there with the winner. And we could even say Gunther is in that pile. So for once in a long time, the Rumble's not 100% predictable, which is a nice thing. I would go with Punk, and he looks like the new heavy favorite right now. But anything could happen. But at least this year, they're giving you some people, and I hope they give us some more people that might just make you go. They could. I think it's this person, but that's another person who possibly could, which is nice. Anyways, Karrion Kross, Bobby Lashley. We saw Bobby Lashley win with the spear. The match went 6 minutes, 39 seconds. Not a whole lot here. It was a good, solid match. Karrion Kross still looked decent in this match, even though he took the L. But I think we're going to see Karrion Kross build more to the future. Your opinion, Mr. Clarke, on Lashley and Karrion Kross?
Good solid outing. It was nice seeing the woman formerly known as the Smoke Show in TNA stand by her man. And
stand by your man.
That's always good to see them together.
Yes. Oh, it's an impressive entrance, too, when they do it right, too. From there, we look back at Bayley accidentally costing Kairi Sane a match against Bianca Belair last week. Bayley apologizes, damage control, and volunteers to stay in the back. The rest of the team seems cool with it, but Bayley looks nervous as they all walk out. Bayley looking like she's losing control of her own group. And we're painting that picture. I think this is another thing that we're going to see. Rumble. There may be a good chance that Bayley wins the Women's Royal Rumble and goes on to face Io Sky at WrestleMania. I think that's what we're going to see built going forward from here. Can't wait to see how that plays out. Anyways, the highlight of the night. CM Punk's here. CM Punk's in the ring. CM Punk is here at the top of the hour, so he's got all the time he wants to talk and isn't going to get cut off. And he even told you that. And he's here because, Adam Pearce wants to sign him. It looks like Nick Aldis is trying to sign him. He asked the fans, because they're going to play a part on it, where he's going to sign. He thinks the fans in Rhode Island weren't as loud as the fans on Raw. And then Punk Time comes in and asks him, do you want to see me throw 29 other superstars over the top right and out of the ring, which was great because he used the word superstars. It looks like Punk is making his proclamation to be in the Royal Rumble. He goes, do you want me to throw 29 other superstars over the top rope, climb the turnbuckle, and point at a sign before main eventing WrestleMania? And he talks about apparently some people aren't happy with this version of CM Punk. He goes, he has a friend that was happy to see him that comes out and usually say, what do you want to talk about? And for him, it's who do you want me to talk about? Maybe it's Cody Rhodes. Punk has some stories, but what about someone who isn't here? Who seems to be missing? and we talk about Roman Reigns. And Punk acknowledges Roman Reigns, says, Tribal Chief, I acknowledge you. I give you a hand on everything you've done. It's been great. But remember, Paul Heyman was my wise man before he was ever your wise man. So we get that thrown in there. Then he talks about Roman has cousins. He talks about Solo Sikoa and how big he is and how bad he is. And then he gives a shout out to main event Jey Uso and how, it makes it hard because he doesn't know if he should go to Raw and hang out with Jey Uso or if he should scrap. And he kind of paused here. I don't know what happened, but then he got Jimmy Uso out. And he talks about scrapping with Jimmy Uso, but then he goes, but you know what? Jimmy Uso's got a whole lot of cousins. Talks about that Samoan dynasty that exists out there. That's a whole lot. But who could they? And so with all those cousins, he might need some help. And he asks, who could that be? Well, there's two guys taking on Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso tonight. And so he first talks about Randy Orton. Randy Orton, could he team up with Randy Orton, somebody who he has a past with? Could him and Orton trust each other? Could they make it work? Could they not make it work? He doesn't know, but it would sure be interesting. And I was like, yes, it would indeed. That would be a great match to see Randy Orton and CM Punk teaming up against pretty much anybody, just because you don't know what to expect out of that. Then he goes, but what about his partner? I think his partner would team up with me, and he lets the crowd go out a night, which was great. And he goes, yeah. The crowd goes, yeah, and he goes, yeah. And so he's happy, and then he's asking who else. And here's where it gets good, because somebody in the audience somebody said Kevin Owens. He goes, I don't know. Kevin Owens is a little prickly, and him and Kevin Owens and CM Punk are a little too much alike, And there's a lot of truth. CM Punk and Kevin Owens, and even if you want to go back to Ring of Honor and talk about, Kevin Steen, if you really want to get into details, you could say those two boys would be very like-minded. That would be a very interesting team to tag up. And here's where things got interesting, because Punk goes, maybe we need to pump the brakes on that, because I don't know how to feel about teaming with someone who just goes around punching people in the face backstage. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it's 2023, ladies and gentlemen. You can't be doing stuff like that. It's insane. And what Punk is not only great about, he can get on that mic, he can tell you whatever it is, but when Punk in his facial expressions can sell a story better than anything. And Punk's facial features with the big old grin, he's getting to CM Punk chance, throwing a little dig under there about punching people in the face, attacking people backstage, how you can't do that. It's a little insane. Was a great dig without being a direct shot. It was just enough to make you go, there's the Punk we kind of wanted to see on Monday. We got a little taste of where Punk is. It made it feel good. It made it feel real. And CM Punk's facial expressions they're worth $1 million, because that man knows how to not just vocalize a story, but he knows how to use the faces and make the jokes. And, it was great. Anyways, Punk ain't putting any stock in the person, though. Oh, let's see. Punk talks about how there is one person who isn't happy he's back now, and Punk isn't putting any stock in that person because he has a whiny voice, but that's not just it. It's also because he's not even the man in his own household. And the fans start singing Seth Rollins' song, and Punk is glad, and he's having fun. And he keeps telling the people to sing. He's going to announce his decision on where he's going to sign on Monday, because he's got to talk to Nick Aldis. He's getting a phone call from one Shawn Michaels, or as he said, the Heartbreak Kid. Now, NXT has an event tomorrow called Deadline. Could we see Punk in the crowd on that show? I think that would be very great just to see him in the crowd, or if he shows up backstage in a backstage segment. I don't know if we need him in the ring, but if he's in the crowd or a part of the NXT just to kind of play this up a little more, it'd just be interesting. Let alone, I just like to see CM Punk and Shawn Michaels shake hands, because I don't think we've seen them together. Well, no, we take that back. Not this version of Punk, but we did see Shawn Michaels and Punk. If we go back to the Survivor Series, where Shawn Michaels, Triple H, as DX teamed up with the Hardy Boys and CM Punk, one of the greatest moments in Survivor Series history, when Shawn Michaels, the bell rang, Shawn Michaels super kicked Mike Knox, pinned him, then turned around and asked Hunter and the other guys, was he on the other team? Oh, so we got the pin, so that was good. So you were up one? Okay. Oh, that was great shit. So yes, we've seen Shawn Michaels and CM Punk. I just don't know. It would just be great to see him in this moment, at this day and time. Anyways, Punk's going to announce what he's going to do Monday, but he's back, and he knows this throws a monkey wrench in a lot of people's plans. But he is here to finish his story, which means main eventing WrestleMania. Oh, the references were great to talk about, Heyman in this. It was great to see Punk here, and Punk felt so natural. Here's what I have to say. Punk looked natural. He looked healthy. He looked happy. He didn't look like he did in AEW. If you go back and look at Punk in AEW, he looked tired, old, and beat up. You look at him right now, he seems happy. He seems clean cut. He seems vibrated. He seems, you can feel his excitement, which makes me get excited. And I go back and I look at it. If we remember Punk there, he would grow out his beard. He had a little bit of longer hair. He felt shaggy. He just kind of didn't have, he'd go out there and cut a good promo, but you didn't feel as excited as you do for the Punk now. And you wonder if a lot of the crap that was going on in the background that we don't know all the details about, if that was weighing on him. And now that he's here, he's like, it's a breath of fresh air. Of course, post-match, Punk runs into Kevin Owens, and he didn't seem too thrilled, but it was a great moment between Punk and Kevin Owens. I'm going to give the floor to Mr. Clarke, because I went over a whole bunch of stuff with the CM Punk there, but it was a long CM Punk segment, and it was really, really good.
I have just one nitpick. It just bothers me just a little bit about Punk's promo. He called himself the OG Paul Heyman guy or wise man or whatever. I'm like, so like Brock Lesnar never existed? You want to talk about the OG Paul Heyman person?
Well, what did the OG?
He didn't say an OG. He said the OG, and that's why I'm like going, wait a minute here.
Yeah, Brock's not there right now, so you could say it. It's a mix on words. He also called Solo Sikoa called Solo Sikoa Jimmy's cousin, or called Jimmy Solo cousins when he was talking about all the cousins. He's like, oh, Roman has a cousin, and that's Solo Sikoa, and he has a cousin, Jimmy Uso, when they're actually brothers. So there were slight things right. You could go in there and go, hey, wait a minute. And then, he's calling himself the original OG. And you're kind of like, well, what about Brock Lesnar? But maybe there was something in that Punk wants to get in the ring with Brock Lesnar again. And, Brock Lesnar can show up and go, wait, I'm the original OG. Of course, who knows? Maybe we get Punk and Brock Lesnar teaming up against Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso with, who knows, in there against, Roman Reigns, get a triple threat. Could be interesting. Anything's possible.
This is true. Also, the idea of two former UFC fighters teaming together is also kind of funny.
Yeah, well, one has a winning record. The other one, we just won't dig on him. He went out there and tried, and you know what? That's all I care. He lost his 2 matches, but you know what? I give him the credit to try, because I want to know how many of you would actually get in that ring and try that shit.
I won't get in a professional wrestling ring, let alone a UFC ring or cage. Excuse me.
Mr. Z, would you be willing to get into the octagon? Would you be willing to take Punk's route and get in the octagon?
Maybe if it was against his wife. That's only a maybe.
Would you get in an octagon with an Io Sky? Would you get in an octagon with Kairi Sane? Would you get in an octagon with a Sky Blue? I'd give it a shot. Well, I give you props. It depends on the day and when the person asks and who I was facing. I might be dumb enough to do it. I mean, sometimes I do. Well, how do you think I wound up in the Army? I was on a job fair. They're like, you should join the Army. I'm like, you're not going to take me. They're like, you don't know until you try. Okay, let's do this. Next thing I know, I was being on a plane cross country to Atlanta, Georgia, on a bus up to Fort Jackson, South Kakalaki, and then hitting basic training going, oops. I got to remember not to top my big mouth into things.
Well, at least in your older age, you've gotten better about it.
Yes. Anyways, from there... Go ahead.
I would say, but there's that still part of you that I know.
Oh, yeah. It'll always be there. Especially for certain people that get triggered over dumb shit. But we won't talk about that person live on my show. There's always a good Matt and a bad Matt. We won't get into details.
Who is the good egg and who is not, huh? Who?
Well, you're sharing a house with the good one. So
I'm aware of this.
Oh, you can tell Veronica I went to the dark side for a night. Made my Starbucks run before the show. Basically, while this match was going on, I put it on my cell phone and drove there so I could at least listen to You Got Nothing. I know you don't got nothing. We got deep into a pool of stuff that I'm only going to dance around because people take way too much crap from nothing, and I don't know how I became the villain in a story that I wasn't even in control of. So, but hey, you know, when somebody no.
We are here at the Value of Wrestling narrate stories in professional wrestling. We are not talking about anything else right now.
We could go one-on-one any time. No, never mind. Anywho. We had Charlotte versus Asuka. And it's a good Charlotte Asuka match. Charlotte was about to hit the figure 8 when Bayley came out and caused a distraction. Asuka was facing Bayley, which almost wound it up with Charlotte nailing.
I hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages, a vacant modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're worth my time, you're delirious. serious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I've got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I've got no...
Thanks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, great stuff. When we crash and burn. I don't know why. It has to do that twice. But we should be back live here in a moment. We shall see. Join us back.
It looks like it.
Join us back in the chat. And hopefully everything is back up and running like it is. We crash, we burn. All right. Yeah, we are live. We are back. We are here. Charlotte versus Asuka. A good solid match. Asuka wins after Bayley. Charlotte got in the figure eight. Was going up for it when Bayley interfered. The referee was distracted. Charlotte went to go, or Asuka was seeing why Bayley was there. Charlotte came up behind Asuka to charge, but Asuka ducked out of the way. Charlotte hit Bayley. Asuka rolled up Charlotte for the pin. 1, 2, 3. This match went 6 minutes, 17 seconds, and the story continues there. Your thoughts on Charlotte and Asuka?
It was what it was. It's like match 2005 or so it feels between the two, so it's kind of hard for me to get into.
Yeah.
But it continues the story, and that's the whole point.
All right. From there, we get Cody Rhodes running into CM Punk. Cody Rhodes brings up to main event WrestleMania. It sounds like you want to win the Royal Rumble. To finish your story, you got to win the Royal Rumble, but Cody doesn't really reflect on he has to win the Royal Rumble. They just say it's good to see old friends and shake hands, and we get a good moment between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. From there, we get a video on a soldier who won the Medal of Honor in 2015, which was great to see. We then look at Logan Paul talking about the tournament, Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens' confrontation last week. Then we have LA Knight standing behind Randy Orton when CM Punk pops in and tells them good luck. Orton looks at Knight and goes, "Are you ready for the night?" And Knight goes, "Yeah." And ladies and gentlemen, here's what's coming next week, including Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is going to be on SmackDown next week. Things should be getting interesting. All right. From there, we got Randy Orton and LA Knight versus Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. A good, strong match back in here, back and forth, with some shenanigans between Knight and Randy Orton, kind of working together, kind of not working together. Eventually boils down to Randy Orton was trying to get Jimmy. He turned his back, and Solo jumped in, eventually bringing the fallout. We get a hanging DDT that connects, but Solo breaks up the RKO. Knight takes out Sikoa. He loads up for a BFT on Jimmy, but Orton pulls Jimmy away, turns around, and hits him an RKO for a pin at 12 minutes, 14 seconds. Randy and LA Knight kind of have a moment of odds there, and then Randy kind of goes, "Get up on your thing and do your thing." They both celebrate. Knight's watching Orton, kind of like, what's going to go on? I wondered if Orton was going to RKO Knight, but we didn't get into that. We just got a close of a show. Good match between Randy Orton, LA Knight, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa. This mixed up well. Made good sense. Made for a good show. Can't wait to see what goes on here. A good, solid show. Your thoughts on LA Knight, Randy Orton, Solo Sikoa, and Jimmy Uso?
You saw at the after the match the planting of the seed, like, we can go down this route at some point. We're not doing it yet, but we're gonna just plant seeds and waddle along.
Yes, anything is possible. Anyways, I thought it was a good show overall. I thought everything was really good. We didn't have a lot of repeat matches. We got this interesting U.S. title tournament. We got to see the return of Karrion Kross. Even a loss, he still looked really good. Can't wait to see what they're going to do with him. I know people may be upset that we got to see Santos versus Dragon Lee already again, and Santos pitting Dragon Lee for a second time. But I think it makes sense in the story, and I don't think Dragon Lee is getting buried or behind and all that. But overall, I thought it was a good, solid show. Lots of good matches. Your thoughts, sir? as the show
There's
as a
really
whole.
not much to add to what you just said. What SmackDown or what WWE in general is good at this point is continuing to build towards where we're going.
Yes.
We're trying to close out there. We're trying to get towards Royal Rumble, but they're keeping the feuds interesting.
Well, and they're laying
to build,
and they're laying out a lot of paths with a lot of contenders going into Rumble. Who could win the Rumble? Yes, I know Cody's definitely a contender. I know CM Punk for many would probably be the number one winner, but I mean Gunther's there. Randy Orton returns. I don't think Randy Orton's going to win a third one. I don't know if anybody would ever win a third one, because that's Austin's kind of thing, and I don't know if they'll ever take that away from Austin. But it'd be interesting to see. They did build up Randy Orton being a 14-time champion, tied with Triple H, but behind Ric Flair and John Cena. So you don't know when that might change. Randy Orton could make 16 before his career's up, even with Randy Orton saying after Survivor Series he wants at least 10 more years to be around. So, I mean, there's a lot there. But we are definitely building a lot of things going into the Rumble. We see Orton's storyline. He's probably getting crossed with Roman. I don't think more Orton will be in the Royal Rumble, which would be great. We know CM Punk has made his claim to possibly, he didn't directly claim it, but he talked about being in the Rumble. We know Cody Rhodes already proclaimed to be in the Rumble. We know Santos has his issues with Rey Mysterio. Where's that story going? Dragon Lee, his former boys, Dominic and Santos. How's that going to work out? Judgment Day's out there. We don't know what's going to go there. Damian Priest, how is he going to play out? This could be interesting. I heard somebody say that Roman would lose the title to Cody. Cody would hold the title only for Damian Priest to come cash in at WrestleMania on Cody and win the title there, and that's how you get Damian Priest as champion. I'm just like, I don't know. I think
no.
I think we're going to see Damian Priest go babyface, and that's fine. I think we need Damian Priest as a babyface. There's some other people that need to go heel. I hope at some point we get to see Bianca. I hope as we see Bayley go face, we eventually see Bianca Belair go heel. As one person goes one way, we got to see somebody go the other way. This is the other reason we're probably going to see CM Punk signing with Raw on Monday Night Raw, other than the fact the feud with him is with Seth Rollins, not Roman Reigns yet. I know a lot of people are talking, Roman. Now Cody's not going to get his story because it's going to be CM Punk and Roman. I'm like, there's nothing there. And Randy signed with SmackDown, so that pretty much means CM Punk will probably sign with Raw. That, or he will be like, I'm going to be a free agent and do whatever I want. But if anything, he's probably going to sign with Raw because we saw Randy go to SmackDown, and we know CM Punk's already calling out Seth Rollins. If you didn't catch that in his promo tonight, he told you who he really wants right now. He just acknowledged Roman Reigns and said, I know what you've done. And he set the groundwork for their feud in the future when it comes to Paul Heyman. When the tribal chief collapses and the wise man doesn't have a tribal chief to be a wise man too, where will the wise man go? That's the grounds I think they're setting there for a future. Because Roman's probably going to lose the title at WrestleMania, and Roman's probably going to go away for a while again, but he'll probably go away without a title. But there's also a lot of speculation. The reason we don't see Roman so much, and nothing's concrete that I can point at, but a lot of it has to do with his past leukemia. They don't push him as hard because they want to be, he it's not that he can't go, but they're just trying to protect him from overdoing it because they believe that part of his wrestling prior to that constantly may have weakened him to have the leukemia come back. So they're trying to, control that and build a storyline. And I know a lot of people are like, Roman number 2. But again, the storyline they've told and how to get here, this is the only way they're going to get here. Back in the day when Bruno Sammartino went 7 years as the champion, it was a different time era. Wrestling wasn't on TV every week. We didn't have big pay-per-view events every month. So for somebody to be a champion for 7 years like that was a different era where people wanted that he was the super baby face. You wanted the hero to always win. So it definitely worked. Hogan held the title for a long time. In between, Backlund held the title for a long time. But the time eras that these people held championships were different than the modern era. So you can't overexpose Roman to make a title run like this. Then they haven't really. Gunther's been on TV, but they haven't overexposed Gunther that much more either. Yes, he defends the title a little more, but he's also not on a 3-year run. He's just barely over a year with the Intercontinental title. So,
and plus he can also. Roman also can depend on the bloodline, but Gunther depends on the Imperium to kind of
Yeah.
Keep the name floating around.
So, this has been your SmackDown review for December 8th, 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, we are counting down the days to the holiday season. Christmas is right around the corner. New Year's is going to hit right after that. And we're going to be in 2024. And I know a lot of people are worried about what's going to happen in 2024 because the world is going to change places. Because there's a lot going on in 2024. 2024 is going to be a big year. One of the biggest WrestleManias ever. I guarantee you this will be one of the greatest WrestleManias ever if they pull it off. This will at least be in people's top 10s, if not top 5s, if it goes like it seems it's going to be. But I know a lot of people are worried about 2024 because we have a presidential election next year, and people are not very happy with who's up there. But, 2024 is going to be a great year. It's going to be an interesting year. And next year, right here on the Value Wrestling, is when we're going to make our march to 1,000. That will be our New Year's goal. So we're going to get 1,000 and beyond before the end of 2024, and we are really going to get into contendership in the podcasting realm for professional wrestling, and we will keep covering all these shows, whether we like them or don't like them. Like tomorrow night when we got to come back on here.
Just remember, whether you like it or you don't like it, learn to love it.
Okay, I'm going to spoon feed those words to you when you're sitting over there crying because you have to watch AEW. And you're like, I can't stand this. And I'm going to be like, remember when you went on air and said, learn to love it? Yeah. You better learn to love it and snuggle up with it. I'm going to buy you an AEW blanket so you can just snuggle up with it and learn to love it. And I'm mad. Go ahead. I'll let you say your piece.
I'm just quoting old school Ric Flair. That's all. Who's on? EW.
Woo! At least you didn't quote some other 80s past Ric Flair stuff like Ric Flair thinks it's cool. But hey, who knows? But I am mad because guess what? CM Punk comes out with a new shirt that's like hell froze over. I'm like, I want that shirt, but I just bought his other shirt. That just finally shipped out today, which I'm excited about. So it should be here hopefully soon. But good God. It's $29.99 for the shirt, $4.99 for shipping, taxes, something else. By the time it was done, it was like $40. I'm like, crap, I just can't spend another $40 right now going into the holiday season. So, but I like that Hell Froze Over shirt. I'm like, yep, they did it. They got another great shirt for CM Punk. Dun, 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 dun. Did you read the chat? Welcome back, Miguel.
I want the Ready to Rumble bit.
Nope. The last thing he said. Mr. Z.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah!
Space Mountain is only a ride in Disneyland on this YouTube channel. That's all it is. Mr. Z, Mr. Z. Now what Mr. Z says to his wife in their bedroom is between
That's
the two
their
of them.
business.
What happens behind closed doors stays behind closed doors. We're right here on the Value Wrestling, like we always say. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your Value Wrestling Smackdown review. God, why am I stuck on Raw? I guess I'm just excited for next week's Monday Night Raw, which I am. I can't wait to see what CM Punk does there. I can't wait to see all the other stuff that's going to come out of there. What are we going to get with Gunther and Imperium? DIY, what are we going to see with them? The Creed brothers are probably going to get built up more. What else do we have on Raw? Oh, we're probably going to hear from Cody. Will Seth Rollins respawn? Why not?
Yeah!
Twice. You're going to come on and get fired and then go tell me that you started your weekend off right by getting fired, so now you can get fired a second time. Oh. Where's my good one?
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty!
There you go, Mr. Z. And for Mr. Clarke. I always gets a giggle out of him.
I'm gonna drink a big glass of the milk!
Milk. Thank you.
Mr. Z, Marty Richards wants to tell you something.
Acknowledge me.
Feel that. Waiting for Sunday. Oh, I bet you're waiting for Sunday. You'll probably get fired then, too, because You seem to have a knack to dip in the waters of getting fired.
So somehow he seems to have this crossover song going on. You know, J-Lo's waiting for tonight to get fired.
He's always out there going. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, like I always say, till the next episode. We'll be back tomorrow night with a review of AEW Collision, the Blue League tournament stuff. We will talk about that and whatever else might come up on this show. We just pray that it can be, something good. And then, of course, we'll be here Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with your weekly roundup where we get to talk about everything that went down in the world of professional wrestling for this week and break it down as the three-man team comes together. Me, Mr. Clarke, and the one only Miguel Z, the Z-Man of 2023. Now he just needs a Flying Brian to team up with. Maybe he can go team up with Alexis King. Z-Man and Alexis King, the newest tag team in NXT. Believe that. Anyways, one day we'll see the Z Master, or the Z Shocker. That's right, the Z Shocker. One day we're going to give you the Z Shocker. But until then, we're going to get out of here. We'll see you next time. We're going to hit the bricks. We're going to hit the hay. We're going to get a good night's sleep. We'll be back tomorrow.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show